Good.
So heading into Nebraska, we've talked about this kind of being a real challenge for your defense. How do you think they're going to do against Nebraska's run?
Well, we'll find out. I mean, that's the neat part about it. You know, they're a physical football team. They've been known to be a physical football team for a lot of years, and you know, they've got an offensive line that is some returning guys on there who play pretty well. The quarterback is very good with his feet and throws a good deep ball, and it'll be a real test for us to see where we're at.
You faced him in 2013 and kind of pretty much kept him contained. Did you guys do well that game?
No, not at all. I mean, it's two different football teams altogether, and so to try and judge then now, I don't think you can do that.
We talk about this being the first road trip for a lot of the young guys, but this is also your first road trip to Oregon. Is there any different feeling, or is it just kind of same old for you?
No, I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I've gone to places where there's 50 people in the stands and where there's 90,000 or more. So it's, you know, it's something you prepare, you try and be consistent with it, and you know, hope you've done the job as a coach to get your guys ready to go.
Your linebacking core has been pretty dinged up. How are you feeling about your depth at that position going?
Well, I think it's always been, you know, depth for us across the board is something that we've got to keep developing. And so, you know, it's like anything else. One guy goes down, another guy's got to step up.
Are we going to see some guys out there that maybe we haven't seen a lot of this?
We'll see. You never know how the game goes.
They've ran the ball, I think, like 50 times in week 1 and spread it all over the field week 2. Is that kind of just trying to try you guys for a loop, prepare for a lot of different stuff? Or
well,
is there anything you can kind of expect to see?
I think, you know, what they do best. I mean, most teams have 4 plays running that are concepts that they like, and 4 pass concepts, either 3x1 or 2x2, and you just work you work yourself on down and distances and personnel groups, and then hope that you do a great job and they're prepared.
You talked about fitting the run a lot coming out of the Virginia game. What was the biggest correction you tried to make with this defense heading into Nebraska?
Just gap integrity, making sure you're staying in your gap, you're not falling out of a gap because you think the ball's going outside, and that as much as anything else, and then tackling one-on-one in the hole.
Mark said you guys needed to spice up the competition among the defensive line. What have you tried to do this week to be prepared for this week?
I think we've always been, you know, and we did it in the back end, we did it in the front. Well, there's always competition. Every day you come out on that field, and guys aren't going to be handed anything. You have to earn the right to wear the helmet and wear the uniform and go out there and play.
As you watch the Nebraska tape, what really stood out maybe more than something else that you're like, all right, could be an issue that we're going to have to fix?
Well, I think anytime you play a Nebraska team is the mentality of how they want to play, especially in the 2 back sets and the physicalness they want to play with, the way they'll hang on to blocks and try and get movement at the line of scrimmage. Typical Nebraska that way, and then the 2-man routes in the max protection. It's always something that gives you problems.
Tommy Armstrong, dual threat quarterback, what's going to take to contain a guy like that?
Well, we got to be disciplined in what, you know, your job is. That's number 1. I think that's a big part of it. Number 2 is trying to, you know, if we can stop the run and make him throw the football. You know, I think with any time you have a chance to get a little exotic in some of your defenses, because someone has to throw the ball, it's always a plus.
How beneficial to you guys is it to have a guy like Tyree that can move around in a lot of positions in the secondary?
Well, you know, I think number 1, he's smart, and that helps. You know, he's football savvy. So I think that's always a big deal to have somebody back there who can do those things from a physical and a mental process.
We're 3 weeks in now. Where do you think your defense can improve most from this game?
Where we want them to, or where they were?
Where you want them to?
Well, against the run. I want to see us go and play a team that's a power run team, even though Davis, that's what they wanted to do, 2 back sets, and see if we've improved from that experience to this experience.
What's the size of their offensive line now? Guys, they're 6'9", 6'7", 6'6". does that change how you prepare or how you play?
No, not at all. I mean, it's gap integrity, it's visual focus and identity on your keys and those kind of things. All right, guys.